Welcome to a lecture on control systems, modeling and finding transfer function of physical systems, namely rotational mechanical systems. Myself, Dr. Purnima S., Assistant Professor from the Department of Applied Electronics and Instrumentation, Rajgiri School of Engineering and Technology. Rotational mechanical systems. Rotational mechanical systems are systems which move about a fixed axis. The main elements in rotational mechanical systems are moment of inertia, torsional spring, and dashpot. The mass of moment of inertia is represented by J, the stiffness of the torsional spring is represented by K, and the rotational frictional coefficient of the dashpot is represented by P. Equivalent to the force in translation mechanical systems, here we have torque in rotational mechanical systems. Torque is a measure of force which causes the object to rotate about an axis. When torque is applied to a rotational mechanical system, it is opposed by opposing torques due to moment of inertia, friction, and elasticity of the system. Let us look at the symbols used in rotational systems. Compared to the x displacement in translation mechanical system, we have theta, which is the angular displacement, which is represented by radians. And the velocity is not a normal velocity. Here, since it is rotating about an axis, we have angular velocity represented by radians per second. Similarly, we have angular acceleration, d square theta by dt square. The applied torque is represented as T, which is having a unit of Newton per Newton meter or kilogram meter square per second square. Tj is the opposing torque due to moment of inertia. Tk is the opposing torque due to elasticity. Tb is the opposing torque due to friction. This can be compared with the opposing forces due to mass, elasticity, and friction. J represents the moment of inertia, B represents rotational frictional coefficient, and K represents the stiffness of the spring. The moment of inertia or rotational mass. This moment of inertia determines the torque which is needed to give the desired angular acceleration about an axis. So when you're comparing with the translational system, the mass it is the mass in the translation system which determines the force needed to give desired acceleration for the body. So here we have torque which helps to give the desired angular acceleration about an axis. It also gives the weight of the system. So just let us consider an example here of a merry-go-round. Here you can see in the first figure that when the people are located towards the edges of the merry-go-round, there will be larger moment of inertia or it will be harder to rotate the merry-go-round. When you look at the second figure B, when the people are located towards the inner side of the merry-go-round, there will be lesser moment of inertia. So it will be easier for rotating the merry-go-round. And moment of inertia stores the kinetic energy of the system. This is the symbol for denoting the moment of inertia. So we mark the torque T and we also mark the corresponding angular displacement theta. So when you're modeling the system, when you're representing in the symbol of the system, we are considering an ideal moment of inertia assuming negligible elasticity and torsional friction. Let us look at the torque balance equations for the moment of inertia. The opposing torque Tj, opposing torque due to moment of inertia, is proportional to the angular acceleration d square theta by dt square. This equation we get by comparing with the previous translation mechanical system, where force is proportional to acceleration. So removing the proportionality, we can represent it as Tj is equal to J into d square theta by dt square, where J is the moment of inertia of mass. By Newton's second law, we can equate the applied torque with the opposing torque. So applied torque T is equal to opposing torque Tj, which is equal to J into d square theta by dt square. Similarly, we can look at the torsional spring. We consider an ideal torsional spring assuming negligible moment of inertia and rotational friction. Torsional spring stores the potential energy. So this is a spring which is connected to a fixed reference point which is applied by a torque T, and correspondingly we have an angular displacement theta. So it's an ideal torsional spring with one end fixed to reference. Similarly, we can have another spring which is connected to two components or two elements on both sides. So we consider this as ideal torsional spring with angular displacement at both ends. So on the left end we have angular displacement theta 1, and on the right end we have angular displacement theta 2. This displacement may be caused by the connections which are given on either side of the spring. So let us look at the torque balance equation for the spring. So for the first case where torque balance equation of the spring with one end fixed, the opposing torque Tk is proportional to the angular displacement theta. So Tk is equal to K into theta. By Newton's second law, we can write applied torque is equal to opposing torque Tk. When you look at the second case where we have displacement on both sides, then the opposing torque is proportional to the difference in displacement, theta 1 minus theta 2. So removing the proportionality and giving the equality sign, we have Tk is equal to K into theta 1 minus theta 2. By applying Newton's second law, again applied torque will be equal to opposing torque. Let us look at the dashpot. We consider an ideal dashpot assuming negligible elasticity and moment of inertia. So this is the first case, which is an ideal rotational dashpot with one end fixed to reference. This is the second case where we have ideal rotational dashpot with angular displacement affecting on both sides, theta 1 and theta 2 respectively. Let us look at the torque balance equation for the dashpot. Torque balance equation for dashpot with one end fixed. So the opposing torque due to dashpot is proportional to d theta by dt, which is equal to b into d theta by dt, where b is the rotational frictional coefficient. By Newton's second law, we have applied torque is equal to proportional opposing torque. Similarly, when you look at torque balance equation for dashpot having displacement on both sides, then Tb is proportional to d by dt of theta 1 minus theta 2, which is equal to b into d of theta 1 minus theta 2 by dt. By Newton's second law, we have applied torque is equal to opposing torque. Now, once we write the differential equations based on the elements, we have to take the Laplace transform of them. So let us look at a typical Laplace transform which we find application in this scenario. So suppose we take the Laplace transform of just theta, it will be L of theta, which is nothing but theta of s. We just represent the angular displacement in the s domain. When you look at the Laplace transform of d theta by dt, it is L of d theta by dt, which is nothing but s into theta s with zero initial conditions. Laplace transform of d square theta by dt square is L into d square theta by dt square, which is equal to s square theta s when there is zero initial conditions. Let us look at a problem to find the transfer function of a rotational mechanical system. The question is, write the differential equations governing the mechanical rotation system and find the transfer function. So we have J1 and J2 as two nodes, J1 connecting applied torque and the spring, J2 connecting the spring and the dashpot. So the first step is to draw the free body diagrams of the nodes J1 and J2. So this is how we draw the free body diagram of J1. We mark the applied torque and the opposing torque. So the applied torque is marked in the clockwise direction and we have a displacement theta 1 in the same direction. So the opposing torque is Tj1 and Tk due to the moment of inertia J1 and the spring K. The opposing torques are in the direction opposite to that of the applied torque. So let us do the same steps which we have done for the translation mechanical system, that is apply Newton's second law to solve the problem. So by applying Newton's second law, we have sum of opposing torques is equal to applied torque. So expanding further, we have J1 d square theta 1 by dt square, which is Tj1, plus K into theta 1 minus theta. So notice here that we are taking theta 1 minus theta because we are drawing the free body diagram of J1. So it is theta 1 minus theta. The first displacement of J1 minus displacement of J2. Let us take the Laplace transform on both sides. So you can see d square theta 1 by dt square becomes s square theta 1 of s. And theta 1 becomes theta 1 of s. Also theta becomes theta of s, t becomes t of s. So rearranging, we can write in a better way given by equation number 2. Let us look at the free body diagram of the second node J2. So first we mark the opposing torques Tj2, Tb and Tk. We have the displacement in the direction of the applied torque, initial applied torque. By applying Newton's second law, we have sum of opposing torques equal to applied torque. Here the applied torque is 0, so the right hand side is equal to 0. Substituting all the equations, we get equation number 3. Taking Laplace transform on both sides of equation number 3, we have J2 into s square plus b into s plus k into theta of s minus k into theta 1 of s. Notice that d square theta by dt square is represented by s square into theta of s. Rearranging, we can express theta 1 in terms of theta given by equation number 4. Now we can substitute 4 in equation 2 to get the final transfer function as given by theta of s by t of s. Why? Because transfer function is defined as Laplace transform of output, which is the output angular displacement, divided by Laplace transform of input, which is nothing but the applied torque. So this is the final expression of the transfer function. Thank you.